We're talking to Kevin Kline and Tim Borland.
Yeah,
Hi, guys.
How you doing, John?
Good, thanks. Now, Kevin, you've been a radio DJ in Houston for how many years?
5 in Houston, but 20 in the industry.
Wow, okay. And so now you're turning athlete, or you've already gone that way, and in addition to which, you're the president and founder of the Snowdrop Foundation.
Correct.
So how did you become involved in fundraising for children's cancer research?
It actually happened because of my job as a morning radio host in Houston. We broadcast annually for 2 to 3 days at Texas Children's Cancer Center for what we call the Children's Miracle Network Cure Kids Cancer Radiothon. And the very first day of my very first radiothon was December 15th of '05. And we broadcast starting at 5 in the morning, and the clinic doesn't open until 8. And by the clinic, I'm talking about the outpatient chemotherapy clinic. And this young lady walked in. She had brown, straight hair down the middle of her back, and she had a hat on, but it was December. I figured it was cold outside. And she set her stuff down on a couch and went over in the corner and started playing with this group of 4, 5, 6-year-old bald-headed kids. And I thought to myself, man, that's cool that on Christmas vacation she would give up her holiday and come out and volunteer. So after about 4 hours of watching this, I got my lunch break and I went over and told her the exact same thing that I just told you. And she says, well, I'm not volunteering. I said, you know, like a paid employee or something? She says, no, I'm a patient. I'm waiting for chemotherapy. I said, you don't even look sick. She said, oh, I'm not. I just got this thing called cancer. Well, it turns out that Chelsea was her name, and in September of '05, homecoming co-princess, captain of the cheerleading squad, and 1 month later told she had a 10% chance to live to see the age of 16. She was 15 at that time. So she and I became immediate friends, and I saw her 145 out of 350 days. So she wanted to start a race for kids. Like the Komen Foundation has Race for the Cure, and there's other races out there, but she said specifically there's nothing designed for kids. And she says, when I beat this and I get out, I'm going to start this. And so it was apparent to us that Chelsea was going to celebrate her 16th birthday. My wife and I wanted to give her something that she could do after she beat her cancer diagnosis. And so we started Snowdrop Foundation. And 3 days after Chelsea celebrated her 16th birthday, which was June 11th of '06, we got our IRS certification. The Snowdrop Foundation was officially a 501c3. So it was a 16th birthday present to Chelsea, and it's now her legacy since she passed on December 9th of 2006, and I was a pallbearer at her funeral on the 364th day that we knew each other. I have been inspired since December 15th of '05 to want to honor her and memorialize her since she passed away. And not only her, but you know, through Chelsea, I've met so many different families and kids that are being treated for pediatric cancer that you just want to go out and do anything you can for all of them.
Yeah. Well, now you're getting ready to run 500 miles over the course of 13 days, right?
That's right, yeah.
So I'm not a math guy. How many miles per day is that? And do you have designated points that you're going to stop every?
We do. Basically what it's going to equate to is for the first 11 days, it's going to be a marathon and a half a day, which is 39 miles. Then on the 12th day, we'll do 28 miles. And then on the last day, it's going to be the Strides Across Texas Marathon, unsanctioned, of course. It's just something that we came up with. And it'll just be 26.2 miles. We have designated spots. Every 39 miles, we'll stop. And we've already contacted the various cities. Waxahachie is one of them. We stop in Waco. We stop in San Marcos. Austin on Christmas morning. We will take off from the state capitol. We've got San Antonio. And then across Highway 90, Seguin, Gonzales, Hallettsville, Rosenberg, and then Houston. So... and we're inviting the townspeople to come out and hang out with us after we get done running. We're figuring anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and then come out, enjoy some dinner, and hang out and learn a little bit about the people that we're honoring.
Yeah. Now, tell us how Tim became involved in it and how he also is related to what you're doing here.
Tim is a world-renowned ultra runner, and I came across Tim in September 27th of '07. Tim was running 63 marathons in 63 consecutive days in 63 different U.S. cities for a project called AT, the AT Children's Project, which is ataxia telangiectasia. Get that right?
That's it, man.
There we go, man. And I went out on September 27th when Tim ran a marathon in my home city of Sugar Land, and we spent about 3 hours of his 5-hour run together, and we started talking about the similarities between what we were trying to do, because Snowdrop had already been created, and Tim had taken on this cause for himself. And Tim was telling me about the correlation between AT children and pediatric cancer children. What they're finding out is about 40% of AT children pass away because of cancer.
Yeah.
And so we immediately struck a friendship. And then Tim went on his way and I went on my way. Well, fast forward to January 11th of 2009, this year, and Tim's running with the AT Children's people in the Disney Marathon, and that was my first marathon this year. Literally bumped into each other.
20,000 people on the course.
20,000 people on the course, and we literally bumped into each other, and I'm like, Tim! And he turns around and he goes, Kevin! And I said, he was running back and forth, so he put in about 40 miles that day, getting people up from the back up to the front. And I said, hey, man, I just want to let you know that 63 and 63 inspired me to do this run in December across Texas. Well, first week of March, Tim calls me from his home in California. He says, tell me a little bit about this run. And so I told him, and he said, what are the dates on it? And I said, December 20th to January 1. He goes, oh, man, it's over the holidays. I said, well, Tim, it's actually designed to be over the holidays because when you're a pediatric cancer patient, you've been in the hospital for 98 straight days, Christmas is Friday. And he said, dude, let me call you back in about 10 minutes. Sure, do whatever you need to do. Call me back in 5 minutes. He goes, man, you are good. I'm like dumbfounded because I didn't know if I did anything. He says, normally when I get an idea, it takes me 2 weeks to convince my wife. I told her exactly what you just told me, and she said, if he wants us, he wants to use our expertise, and you want to pace him, we will fly out there, the entire family, and we'll be with him, and we'll make this a whole family thing. So here he is. So
cool.
Yeah.
Holiday on the road.
That's right.
But I mean, you think about 20,000 people at one race. And I read about Tim in a newspaper article. I mean, it's what we were talking about last night, divine intersection that we're here together.
Yeah, well, and AT mixes symptoms from a lot of different diseases, but cancer is really the prominent one, and there's so much being done right now within AT research to try to unlock the mysteries of cancer. The parallels are so strong. Even though again they're different camps. Really, it's kind of one of those, hey, we're all in it together, right? And there's stuff that we can all do. And just because, he's got a foundation, the Children's Project, people researching this cancer and that cancer, I mean, man, when you can join forces and bring people together for one cause and one purpose, it just, walls start coming down and big things start happening.
That's great. Great that it worked out that way.
Indeed.
And amazing. Well, tell us about the regimen that you've been on as far as training, Kevin.
Well, we started training for this in January, and quite honestly, the hardcore training didn't start. The specific training for Strides Across Texas didn't really start until October. I was just kind of on a base maintaining program where I was just working up to being able to run a marathon and have something left over at the end without really straining myself. And then in October, we started ramping up. My peak week was 137 miles, which was 3 weeks ago. So I started, when we got into peak training the end of October, I went from 100 to 120 to 137, back down to 120, and then 90, and then I've done 50 to 55 this week, and I don't even feel like I've run this week. I really don't. I feel lethargic and lazy, but that all changes tomorrow.
Right. And you're leaving from the Cotton Bowl in the morning in Dallas.
Yeah, the reason that we chose, it's very simple to remember the run, okay? The Strides Across Texas is what we called it, and while it's not completely across the state, it reaches the 4 biggest cities in Texas, and it maximizes the chance for exposure for the kids and the families in Texas Children's Cancer Center and the work that's being done there. But it also gives us an opportunity to tell our message to as many people as we can. So the easiest way to remember it, 4 biggest cities, or State Fair, to State Capitol, to State's most recognizable landmark, the Alamo, to State's best pediatric cancer facility, Texas Children's. Very easy to remember.
Gotcha.
State, 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 state.
Great.
Yeah. We're running, the first 12 days, we're running for a child that has passed away, that I knew personally and touched my life. The 13th day, when we run into Texas Children's Cancer Center, we're running for every survivor. And a lot of patients and a lot of survivors are going to be out there running the last block with us. So when you look at it, many more survivors than non-survivors. And we are making strides. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's about showing the change that one person can affect on another, but it's also showing, hey, 60 years ago you had a 10% chance to live. Now you got 80.
Right. Now, you've got sponsors for the run, for Strides Across Texas. How can normal people, everyday Joes, contribute to the cause?
They can contribute by going to stridesacrosstexas.org. They can also go to snowdropfoundation.org. Or just the easiest way is get in your car or even run. Come out to a tour stop with us. That's what we're calling them, tour stops. Come on out and hang out with us, and we will move you to reach into your wallet. We really will.